All right, are you ready? Final one. If you've seen the movie, then you know what happens. And my control's off. I should have done this first. Oh well. I forgot about this whole saving thing. Now watch the final cutscene, where suddenly the graphics become semi-good. No! I wouldn't imagine it breaks so easily.
Arrest it! The old one! Betrayal! Don't you understand? The Holy Grail! It's lost! Lost forever!
It was nearly over, but there was one final scroll, one last rhyme to lead us to the ultimate answer. The Holy Grail beneath ancient roslyn waits. Adorned in Master's loving art she lies. She rests at last beneath the starry skies.
I'd actually really want to go to France and see this, like, if there really is the whole church line and everything. I would love to see that.
Ah, the artistry, the stained glass. Oh, it is achingly beautiful. The Holy Grail beneath ancient roslyn waits. Well, we're here. What's next?
The next line says the blade and chalice guarding over her gates. So I guess we look for the symbols of the blade and chalice.
Okay, so there is definitely no guards in this. It's the easiest level. You need to go back to the foyer of the church. I actually love this church. It's beautiful. I really want to come see it. And over here you want to examine this and take the stone lid off. And then you want to turn around and look at this, because you will see drag marks.
The scuff marks on the floor indicate this chest was moved around.
So you want to pull this. And look at it, and look at the hole in the ground. Lift. And pick up the daisy disc.
This is the daisy.
And you want to go back to the main part of the church. And go over to the red curtain. Over. Oh, which curtain? There's two curtains. Which one do I pull? And you want to go to the right.
I think there is something behind these curtains.
And there's an empty space where you put the stone lid.
Perfect.
And it gives you the lily disc.
Now I have the lily.
Now you want to go to the rear of the church and look at the four angels on the back wall. But there is something up here that I actually
I have been here before.
Yeah,
A
so
very long time ago.
some people start talking and saying how she's been here before. You can look at these pillars. They're actually
There
pretty
is a story that states that the master mason of Roslyn, who planned to carve this pillar, traveled to Rome for inspiration on the design. In his absence, his apprentice, having received a vision of the finished pillar in a dream, began carving the pillar immediately and created the design as it now stands. This pillar is hailed as a perfect marvel of craftsmanship. When the master mason returned and witnessed the carved masterpiece, the master was so struck with envy that he demanded to know who had dared to carve the pillar in his absence. Upon being told it was his own apprentice, the master mason was so overcome with rage that he bludgeoned his apprentice to death with a mallet.
Wasn't that nice? These actually have really neat stories, so I'm going to point out.
This is the journeyman pillar. This pillar stands between the pillars that represent Boaz and Joachim, according to Masonic architecture.
Yeah, some of these don't really have any, but...
That's odd. According to Masonic ceremony, this should be the location of the apprentice pillar.
It said the Master Mason's pillar. It doesn't really have a story. You can go up here. I believe there are stories up here, maybe. Maybe you just examine these. There's nothing really in them, I don't think. Well, there is a sealing journal. Yeah, it tells you what the things represent. Daisies represent innocence, lilies represent purity, sunflowers represent adoration, roses represent love, and this is the most complex. It's the showcase stars in the sky, a crescent moon, one small star, a dove, a sun, and an open hand underneath. These are actually really important. They each have some important things, I think. No, wrong one. That one doesn't open. Okay. So after that, I think that's everything pretty much important. You want to go back and examine the angels on the wall. There is faith.
The angel's banner is inscribed with the word faith.
And then courage.
The angel's banner is inscribed with the word courage.
I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, and then you want to come over here and examine the other two.
The angel's banner is inscribed with the word truth.
You want to look for the one with faith, and this one has something above it.
The angel's banner is inscribed with the word hope.
Which one had faith on it again? It was over here, wasn't it? I passed it. Right here. Yeah, and there's a box of matches right here. And then you want to go back to the truth angel, and there is a disc. The very top of it.
The angel's banner is inscribed with the word truth.
I'm just trying to remember where it was. Oh, I was wrong. You don't have to actually come here yet. I haven't played this game in ages, and it's taken me a little while to remember everything. There's a reason why you needed the matches. There is.
Looks like there was something behind the curtains.
You want to light the candle.
There must be something I'm missing. Alright, that worked.
And then it says,
It's Latin. It says, wine is strong, the king is stronger. Women are even stronger. Truth conquers all.
now you want to go look at the truth angel, because you remember truth conquers all. So you want to go look at truth.
What was it that the Latin inscription said about truth?
That truth conquers all.
And there must be something special about this angel.
Lift me up. Let's see what we can find. Now I have the rose.
Yes, that's the rose disc. And you're actually supposed to examine the pillars and everything after you grab this one, but I did before. And since I already got Langdon to tell me about the pillars, you can go to the gates, and you will see what happens in the gates next time, so stay tuned. How are we going to see? So after that you want to examine
Symbol
this.
for male and female.
Fused together as one.
The perfect union of male and female. Solomon's seal, marking the Holy of Holies.
Okay, if you have those 3 discs you have, go in certain spots. You only have really 3. You want to put the daisy disc in the innocence spot. You want to put the lily disc in purity. And then in love, the rose.
We did it. Nowhere to go but down from here.
After you, milady.
And there's someone watching you in the background. Creeper! I first noticed he looked a little bit like Sophie, but you know. So, this part, you can look at each of these Latin things.
Translated, it says, visit the center of the earth, and by rectifying, you shall find a hidden stone.
Where did we see an earth earlier?
I don't know, you didn't see it, Earth. But anyway, you want to come over here and look at the globe. Spin it. And there's a missing piece. And that missing piece is over here. In the Bleeding Angel.
I recently read that in 1999, this carving mysteriously began to produce presumably rust-stained water. The running stain resembles a bleeding wound on the right side of the angel's forehead.
And she's holding an oddly-shaped stone.
The angel has a piece of the globe.
You have to go all the way back to the globe. This mission's not as long. I just find it a little boring. Because, you know, there's no one to fight. Where's the fun in that?
That worked.
And it opens and gives you
The globe opened.
There's another piece inside.
Stardust.
There's a star on this medallion.
After that, you want to go past the hallway where the Bleeding Angel was. And down this hall. Move this out of the way.
That looks like a star to me.
But before you move it, before you put the star in, you want to move the wicker box.
That seems how it feels.
I don't know why Langdon's not helping you move this. Alright. And there's a trap door. So now you want to examine this and put the star synthesis in it.
Good.
And this puzzle is actually really easy to figure out because the borders are pretty easy to see. And there is actually stars above you and everything, which is I find really neat. There's only one. Oh yeah, there's only really one thing in this. Anyway, so this puzzle is incredibly easy. Just put pieces in the right spot. And you remember the last part of the ceiling thing was the thing about the stones and the everything. I found this puzzle a little too easy. I wish it gave up with something a little harder, but oh well, you can't get everything. Can't get everything you wish for. See, that was really
Did you
easy.
hear that?
It sounds like we might be able to lift that trap door after all.
Turn around. And then enter the secret library. And it's the final area of the game, so. Look around at this. There's one part in the. There's one last secret. It's by a pile of chairs over here. It is Da Vinci's Codex. Now all you have to do is examine the two murals on the wall, but you don't have to right away. You can actually just go around because there's an area right here with a sarcophagus.
She was here.
A sarcophagus?
Mary Magdalene.
The Holy Grail.
Where did she go? Did the church finally get her?
you don't have to do that. Over here's a photo album.
This article says the entire family was killed. Father, mother, and both children? A boy and a girl.
Only their names in the will. It's Sinclair. This makes no sense.
I don't remember what else you can do here. You do come back to this area later in the bonus part. It's called the Roslyn Church Revisited. No, I'm not good to examine those two murals yet. Because when you do that, the huge fast cutscene will start. So I'm gonna stop it now and then let you watch the rest of it next time. So now, ready for the long ass cutscene. You want to examine both murals. This one.
St. Clair is one of the oldest families in France. This traces their lineage back to a line of Merovingian kings.
I was wrong, this isn't the very end. And then you want to go examine, that's St. Clair.
Only 2 direct lines of Merovingians remain. The Plantard family traces back to the descendants of the Merovingian kings.
And then you exit. And then you were supposed to... After that you were actually supposed to look at the photo album. I did that before. I apologize.
What was it about, Sophie, when you and your grandfather fought? Was it something
This is the
about
last
your
cutscene.
past?
So
Was it something about how your parents died?
How could you know that?
Sophie, I was
final
wrong.
cutscene.
Samir didn't want you to guard the secret of the Holy Grail. Sophie, you are the secret. You survived the car accident. If it even was an accident. The Priory found out. They must have concealed the fact that you weren't dead.
Ce n'est pas possible.
You are the heir. The end of the royal bloodline. The living descendant of Jesus Christ.
No.
It all makes sense. Your grandfather wasn't playing games with you as a child. He was training you, teaching you, so that you could take over and continue to guard the secret of the royal bloodline. Your own secret. Your blood. He couldn't just tell you who you were. You would never believe him. Even now, after all that you've seen and learned, you still doubt it.
Sophie.
And a person!
True. I gave you up once, knowing that I might never see you again.
She's Scottish
But I have
accent.
prayed for this moment for a very long time.
Who are you?
I am your grandmother, Sophie.
Le gasp! This is the final cutscene, just let it play.
Both of your parents were descended from Merovingian families. For protection, they changed their names of Plantard and St. Clair.
Protection? From what?
There are many who would kill to protect their belief in Christ's divinity. To learn that he not only had children, but that there are people still alive who carry his blood. It would be too much for some to comprehend.
I've seen a lot of religious zealotry in the past day or two, but no one seemed to have much interest in tracking down and killing the descendants of Christ.
Nevertheless, there are those who would murder to maintain their belief that the Bible is perfect and that Jesus had no children or even a wife. Sophie, I know that you've always wondered what happened to your parents. Your parents were killed in a car accident whose cause could not be determined. The Priory feared the identity of the royal line had been discovered. Your grandfather and I had to make a grave decision the instant we received the phone call. Your grandfather took you to France, and I moved here to watch over Rosalind with your baby brother. Separating the family was the hardest thing we ever had to do. But we did it, knowing that it was the only way to keep you safe. Welcome home, Princess. My husband obviously trusted you, Mr. Langdon, and so shall I, considering what you've done for me tonight. And as curator of the Rosalind Trust, I can tell you for certain that the Grail is no longer here.
But the words say the Holy Grail beneath ancient Rosalind waits.
One of the Valor's most ancient charges was one day to return the Grail to her homeland, France, where she could rest for eternity. When my husband became Grand Master, his first duty was to restore her honour by returning her to France and building her a resting place fit for a queen.
But the poem says... Why does it point to Rosalind?
Perhaps you've misread its meaning.
Rosalind.
The Grail can be deceptive, as could my late husband.
Sophie, I should go. You should spend some time with your family.
Thank you
For what?
for bringing me here, for letting him choose you, Sir Robert.
Night.
I'll always be there for you if you need me, Sophie.
I know.
That's a horrible graphics kissing. One last cutscene. As soon as I get rid of this and save, there's one more cutscene, and if you read the book, seen the movie, you know exactly what the cutscene is. Those last two places are the secret locations, which I will be doing.
It had been the most extraordinary 2 days of my life. And now I was back in Paris, as if nothing had happened.
The Louvre.
But everything had changed. Suddenly, I understood Samir's message at last. The Holy Grail beneath ancient Rosalind waits. Adorned
shocked
with
face.
the Master's loving arts she finds. She rests at last. The starry skies.
That's a horrible looking sarcophagus. In my opinion. Horrible looking sarcophagus. That's the end of the game, and stay tuned next time. I will be doing the final 2 parts. The Louvre Revisited and Rosalind Revisited.